Okay, my beautiful friends, here we are, you and me, together again at last on another record-setting day for this market. The Dow Jones Industrial Average closed above 30,000 for the first time ever. The S&P 500 also hit a new record high. A lot of stuff to cover with you here today, so bear with me. Let me put this into perspective for you real quick. You got the 10-year yield higher, the dollar weaker, and crude oil today got bid higher by 4%. You just add that together and the sum is a higher stock market. Period. And let me explain this to you in case you don't know already. We're not done. This market is going to surge higher. I'm not saying we're not going to fall tomorrow or the next day, but the trajectory is higher. Other than the fact that precious metals are rigged to the highest order, we know who's doing it. When you have an environment of risk like we have now, I explained to you exactly how this would play out. I explained to you how Wall Street was pricing all of this in and continues to do so. With regard to this market, Dow 30,000, you haven't seen anything yet, especially with what we heard from the Federal Reserve today. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. So yes, new record highs for this market. You are not surprised. I explained to all of you that this is where we were going. I know there were a couple of clown show YouTube channels out here, bigger than mine, trying to push that narrative that we're all going to crash, we're going down. And time again, they're wrong. Can't make this stuff up. And their people keep going back. I have to ask you, what's wrong with them? Maybe they should go return some videotapes. Anyway, yeah, so crude oil really got bid higher today. You got dollar weaker, 10-year yield higher, off to the races we go. Cryptocurrencies, are you paying any attention to the mainstream financial channels? They're like, what's going on? Why is cryptocurrency getting bid up like this? Why is Bitcoin over 19,000? It always takes them all by surprise because they have no idea what they're doing. If you've been following my work, I've been telling you for how long? Like forever. Cryptocurrencies are going higher, not just higher, much higher. Honestly, people, look, some of you hate when I do this, but I don't really care. It's my show. One of the best calls I have ever made was to recommend that people buy Bitcoin at $2,700. And just look, understand this market. Our job as people who follow the markets or just try to keep on top of it, or maybe you're a trader, maybe you're a stacker of metals, maybe you're an investor in cryptocurrencies, our job is not to pick bottoms or tops, really. It's to not let this twisted system beat us. It's not going to happen. How many times have I told you that over the years? You will not lose. I refuse. Look, let's talk a little further here real quick. For my lions out here, for those of you that are getting in on this market, I told all of you Thursday I didn't like the market. I was going short. I did go short. I pulled a profit out that day, closed my position at the end of the day. Friday, I said I was going short. I went short again. Boom, pulled out another profit. Yesterday, same thing. I went short this market, pulled out more money from this market. I sucked it right out. And today, same thing on the long end. All my trades I post for you to see. Anyone on this earth can see them. Just subscribe to my free newsletter. There is a link in the description of this video, and you too can rip the face clean off of this market, okay? I don't ask for anything. All I want you to do is pay it forward. Find a charity you believe in and donate a percentage of your profit to that charity. Anyway, that's really the story. Now, what I want to do here is do a little blow-by-blow for you throughout the day because it gets pretty interesting. Let's start off with this. So we found out here, I'm going to read the headline to you. The Eurozone economy plunges back into a severe decline. Okay. Yeah. Same here in the United States. We are in a severe decline. We've never had a V-shaped recovery, a super V-shaped recovery. These were lies, moral lies, and propaganda, distractions, I guess to get votes. Didn't work. Anyway, look, the truth of the matter is, unless you sincerely are brain dead, we are in a global depression. And this global depression will get worse as the stock market goes higher. I want you to remember that. Let's move forward here a little bit. How about this one? General Electric warns of many more job cuts to come, especially at its aviation unit. General Electric surged higher today on this news. That's how backwards this is. Yeah, sure, people are losing their jobs, but the stock market or an individual stock will continue to go higher. It's out of control, out of freaking control. Let's move forward here a little bit. Look, just going back real quick, Dow 30,000, mark my words, you haven't seen anything yet. And with regard to cryptocurrencies, you haven't seen anything yet either. You haven't seen anything yet. So just buckle up for that. Now, I want to discuss this with you again. The major Wall Street banks, especially this one, JP Morgan, is a criminal organization, and I can prove that to you yet again. Here we go. Let me read the headline to you. JP Morgan Chase pays $250 million penalty over weak controls in its wealth management division. JP Morgan Chase agreed to pay $250 million in fines after one of its U.S. regulators found a pattern of misconduct. They mean a pattern of fraud. Over and over and over again, no arrests. They just pay a fine. This is the bank, the same bank that is, I almost want to say 100% responsible for the rigging of precious metals. Understand, everyone knows who's doing it. Everyone knows it's being done, but nothing gets done about it except maybe a small fine, for which they have paid fines with regard to rigging the metals market. It's an incredible situation to see a bank like this get caught time and time again, rigging the market, all aspects of the market, and nothing ever happens. It's an embarrassment. It really is. Now, let's talk about this real quick. Fed President Williams, I want to read this to you. He is pleased, this is his words, with the way the Federal Reserve's bond buying program is working. Of course he's pleased. This is what they want to do, and they're going to buy a lot more. I think you know that. They will buy it all. And he's pleased with that because this allows the Fed to finish what they started in 1913. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. But it's in our face. Look, none of this stuff is hidden. It's literally in plain sight. Banks like JP Morgan, the Federal Reserve, Fed presidents, the now soon-to-be Janet Yellen to head the U.S. Treasury Secretary. I mean, you realize you're being played. If you realize you're being played, you weaponize the system against those that are playing you. That's all I am doing here. And I'm trying to take as many of you with me as I possibly can. Even those moron trolls who like to rear their ugly head. Hey, just look, be very careful. There are a lot of scam artists here that post comments, referring you to this person or that person. It's all a scam. All of it. There are some people pretending to be me. It's a scam. I'm just making sure this is me. Yeah, it's me. So unless you hear it from my mouth, it's not me. Okay, you got it? Let's, look, I want to just give a big shout out to my Lions here. My email box exploded today. In fact, it probably still is. And I am sorry if I'm not writing back to all of you. This is me. I wrote this earlier, but I am thrilled to hear that you're ripping the face off of this market, especially today over the last several days. We don't care if the market goes up. We don't care if the market goes down. I'll keep you on the right side of it. If you allow me, I will make you a winner. All right, here we go. Here's another one that I want you to pay very, very close attention to. This is Fed President Bullard. He sees a light at the end of the tunnel. What this man is referring to, again, it's in our face. He's talking about the Federal Reserve and their endgame. The Federal Reserve has had one goal since their inception in 1913, to one day be the lender and buyer of last resort. This is why they're, here, the other guy. Here we go. Fed William is pleased with the Fed's bond buying program. So we got this freak, Williams, Fed President Williams, and this other freak, Fed President Bullard, seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, because they're nearly done. They are nearly done finishing what they started in 1913. And it's in our face. It's not being hidden. So look, again, we're in free fall, our economy. Most of you out here haven't even seen the worst of it yet. But the stock market will continue higher. Cryptocurrencies will continue higher. The debt will continue to expand. All right. With regard to gold and silver, we had several record highs with regard to gold this year alone. Okay. For the long run, I still believe, and nothing was going to sway me from this. I don't care about the rigging from JP Morgan. Gold and silver are the place to be. These are anti-debt units. They've been proven to be anti-debt units for thousands of years. It will not change. You understand? Here's another one. OxyContin maker Purdue Pharma pleads guilty in a criminal case. This is what they pleaded guilty to. One of the charges is admitting that they paid doctors to, inducing them to write more prescriptions for OxyContin. Those particular doctors, I did practice medicine for 20 years. There's no punishment severe enough for these so-called doctors. Okay, that's my opinion. All right, people, let's move a little further down the line. Now again, I want to give this one more little bit of attention here, and I'm going to read this to you. This was me earlier today because I watch all the financial channels all day long. That's why I'm not normal. The financial channels are all giddy on the rise of cryptocurrency. Did they really not see this coming? Why is it all like unexpected to them? Shocking. Look at it. Oh my goodness. I've been telling people for years, that cryptocurrencies are going much higher. But these freaks, they can't get it together. It's insane to me. It really, really is. And then we heard here, U.S. small businesses cannot survive another closure. Translation, expect another closure. To finish this thing that we are in right now, to really, really finish it, people, they have to eliminate whatever remains of the middle class and create more slaves to debt on an unprecedented scale. That's all we have. The United States is the largest debtor nation in the history of the world. Many people have sat idly by and watched the Federal Reserve inflate, in fact, calling on it when President Trump was supposed to take out the Fed and they were going to bankrupt the Fed. I explained to those people, at least I tried, that it's an impossibility and the Fed is just fulfilling their end game. They want to inflate. The more they inflate, the stronger they become. Now the Federal Reserve is the strongest organization on the planet Earth. And we have Fed presidents coming out saying they see a light at the end of the tunnel. It's in our face. You understand? I really, really hope you do. It's not that hard to understand what you're seeing. Some people don't see it. I mean, you could show them something and they still can't see it. I don't know why, but there are many, many people. I guess they've been dumbed down. They can't think. I don't know what their problem is. They can't engage their brain. Maybe it's the indoctrination system that they start the moment you're born. I've always been inquisitive. I've always asked questions. I've always wanted to know why. I never accept things at face value. I want to know what's going on. What makes this thing work? What makes this thing tick? You understand? When you want to adopt that kind of mentality and realize that you are living in some kind of a twisted, distorted universe where nothing makes sense because it's not real, then a lot of this is going to become even more clear to you, and you're going to have like a ritual awakening. And once that happens, you're going to see the world through a different pair of eyes, and that's what I really hope that will happen to you. Again, people, look, I work very, very hard to try to keep you on top of this market, understanding that you don't have to be sheared by this. You don't have to go down with the Titanic. And that's exactly what we have here. And there's not enough lifeboats to go around simply because people can't engage their brains. If they would engage their brains, there'd be a lifeboat for everyone. But following along like the sheep that they are, the people are being led to the slaughter by the millions. By the millions. All right, look, I'm out of here. I did return my videotapes. And I think you all know what I'm talking about here, right? Yeah. I'm going to go watch that movie later today. Anyway, I'm out of here. Love you a lot. See you tomorrow.